7. Remember that. Action. All right, what's up, everybody? It's the No Look Passengers, episode 22.
Yes, sir.
We in here live. Yeah, deuce. Very special guest today. We got our man from Mud Bros Vintage, Mr. Witt.
Yo.
Say what's up to the people,
what's
Mr.
going on,
Witt.
everybody?
Regular crew here. We got Trevor and Cambo over here chilling. New little setup. Got some new mics. Got some, we rocking. Ready to chop it up, How you boys doing?
It's
Living the life.
Tuesday.
Mr. Witt, what you been doing, man? Appreciate it. Shut the store down early to come chop it up with us, man. So,
Yeah, R.I.P.
Appreciate that for sure, man. That's love.
Happy to be here. So today's pretty much my Monday. For the time being, Tuesday's kind of when we rock and roll for the week, Tuesday through Saturday.
Yeah.
So I just do a little restock and a little
Tidying up the shop.
Yeah.
So,
hell yeah.
where do you get I don't want you to give away the sauce.
Before we get into it, explain the business, man. Explain to them what you do, man. Explain Mud Bros Vintage to the people.
So, I know me and you had talked about the online aspect of it. So that's a big part of it. That's a big part of where I source it too. A lot of it is through like threads and groups. You like meet people. So, I've met a lot of people in the Midwest and like out West that you're getting a lot of wholesale, but then you got your local sourcing too, where, you see like the bins and things like that. I'm not a big bins guy. I got people that go to the bins and, we do like trade and stuff, but it's more of, so for me, I got wholesalers. I got my regular kind of places I go and find stuff, and then, just anywhere I can find it, really.
So how did you you kind of told me a little bit about this in the truck, but how did you get into the vintage space? Like, how did you know, like, this is your thing? Like, because I'm a sneakerhead. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not.
So that's kind of how I got into like the whole vintage thing. Was kind of through the sneakers, because the cultures are very kind of hand in hand. Yeah. So how did you get into the vintage game? What was some first pieces you remember? And
so I really started getting into selling, like not even necessarily like clothes, but just like resell. Like pretty much as soon as I could drive, Smiley's Flea Market was out there like selling, like having yard sales. Like old.
Did you ever
school,
go to Jamestown?
Yeah, I've been there too, but I'm new kind of to this area. I'm from Candler, so always went to.
Shout out Party Mike.
Yeah,
Party Mike's from Candler.
Yeah, he made us stop by the store too, so that was cool. So,
hell yeah.
Yeah, OCT, Old Candler Town.
That's sweet.
Like I said, Flea Market was selling like video games and comic books and things like that, and so that was kind of where I got started as far as like clothing. So my best friend that helped me open the store, Newt. So he's a firefighter in Asheville, but he's the one, like before it was really like crazy like it is now. Like, man, he was into vintage clothes, like more like true vintage and stuff like that, like 10, 15 years ago. Yeah. So he's the one that I really started to see like, oh man, this is cool, and this is nostalgic, and this is something you can build off of, and and so from there, I really was like, okay, so this is cool. So I like selling stuff. I like going and finding stuff and doing it. So the clothing it's cool because it's so subjective. Like anybody could just see something. It's like, man, this is the stupidest thing. But then the next guy's like, oh man, this is great.
And there's so many different like niches within it. Like I love the wrestling shit.
Yeah.
And
the NASCAR
shit. And it's like there's so many different. Like I know people
concert
who go
T-shirts.
I started to say who go crazy for band tees. Like,
But those are the main ones. Then you've got the people who only want Scooby-Doo shirts.
Or like specific bike week tees.
Mm-hmm.
And the Harley Davidson, and like there's so many different.
There are, and like a lot of people really are more into like the more like eclectic, like 70s and 80s, like like tight fit.
I like the old hats. I like the old like corduroy hats and stuff. Yeah.
Those are sweet.
I be rocking those sometimes. I look like a goofball with them, but I just like them.
So you're talking about your homie who's a firefighter in Asheville. I'm assuming that's where Mud Brothers came from.
Yeah,
do you want to go into that a little bit? How y'all?
Yeah, so there's a kind of double side to that.
That's funny because we've talked about that. But
Muddy. So that was his idea. So instead of like, he always like, he said, we're not blood brothers, we're mud brothers. It's kind of like a Jamaican thing. Yeah, exactly. And so that was where it came from. And so it was funny. As soon as we named it Mud Brothers and like started opening it, people were like, oh man, Mud Brothers. Is that like Eskimo Brothers, but from the back? And I'm like, oh man, like, I didn't even know that was a thing. And we'd already like made shit. And I was like, oh no, it's still cool. So like I said, we just rolled with it from there. So that was
it's a cool name. I like it.
Yeah, no, and it's cool.
I like mud is thicker than blood. That's cool.
Yeah,
I started to say I like the meaning behind it too.
Yeah,
I mean, we relate to the just get it out the mud. Yeah,
like, absolutely. And it's kind of goes back to the whole procurement of like the stuff we're selling. Is like, like you got to like sometimes like. Man, you'd be surprised where you can find some good shit,
dude.
Worse than mud,
somebody's attic that just died and, just crazy stuff.
Or 20 years old, and it's like, man, half the stuff's rotten, but the stuff you find that like makes it isn't as good, you're like, man, yeah.
That's like, I feel like what people think of whenever they think of vintage, it's like you found it in like this weird place, and there's just like the whole other side to it, which was what I was going into immediately. It's like, I know there's people online doing, like, I know there's special communities just for that.
Yeah.
And I just have no clue where it even starts. Like, I like the vintage stuff. It's just, I don't get out of the house a lot.
Yeah.
So to find it, it's like, sometimes you'll see, like, the shit that people make to make it look vintage, and it's, like, not the same.
Yeah. I'm kind of like a unicorn, too, because it's like, I'm like this, like, fat old dad, like, selling, like, vintage clothes. And it's like, most of my clientele is, like, 16 to, like, my age. Like, that's kind of where, like, the spectrum, like, kind of.
I was going to get into that, too, because, vintage clothing, I would say from when I got into it, which was probably 2015, 2014, in there, it was a younger target audience. Mm-hmm. So I guess my question is, on your Instagram stories, I see a lot of, some older cats in there shopping with you. When we was in there, there was an older cat came in there. What do you think your target audience is at your store?
Man, anybody who's got $5 is my target audience, the way I look at it, because that's kind of so. Even though it is a vintage store, and most people are like, okay, vintage, like old or like expensive or like whatever. We got, like I said, the $5 racks. So it's like, man, you'd be surprised. Like old people light up like a Christmas tree when you're like $5 rack. Like, I've had some people come in, they see like a $250 T-shirt, and then like they do like just a $360. And I'm like, damn, man, if you just came in here and looked, like, man, I got
saw the $5
hoodies.
I remember the first time I stepped out there, you had that Elton John. It was like a 73 or some shit.
Yeah.
Tour tee. And you were like, yeah, this one's $250, and you explained it like a lot of people, they'll just walk out.
Oh yeah.
You can't. It's hard to explain that to somebody, especially on a first. They walk in the door for the first time.
Absolutely.
A first impression, it's kind of
because they just don't understand.
And you're thinking dollar, or knickknacks or trinkets.
Like, I think it's more of a nostalgia thing. Just a nostalgia shop doesn't sound as cool as a vintage shop.
Yeah.
Because like. It doesn't matter, like, you say target audience, but, like, everyone sees a piece like that, and they have a piece that takes them back to, like, when they were a kid or the first time seeing it and stuff like that. So I think that's the coolest part about it is, like, there really is no target audience.
No, and the coolest thing, too, I talked about, me selling the video games and stuff, and that's why in my glass case I have video games and, little stuff. Like, I, was like, hey, that was where it all started. So, like, that's vintage. I mean, 30-year-old video games. I mean,
like the Nintendo 64 games and stuff like that.
I sell a good bit of that stuff.
If you ever find any, like, vintage, like, Formula One, like, racing team shirts and stuff, you just...
Man, I got a guy that wipes me out most of the time on that stuff. That stuff goes quick.
Yeah, like the old, like...
Or the Euro. I know you're a Euro car guy.
Yeah, so like the old AMG, the old Ferrari, the old BMW stuff. The reason why I say AMG Ferrari before BMW is because they didn't have an F1 team, but they had the... They have a racing team, but it's not F1. I'm trying to think of what it is, but they don't really compete in Formula One, so... Yeah. AMG's running that shit.
Speaking of video games, knowing that's where you got your start, man, I used to be a collector of older video game systems, and recently Wii Sports is like, if you got it in the sleeve, it's like $60 now.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to be all into that vintage video.
That was
you couldn't give that game away.
Free game with the Wii.
Yep.
You almost couldn't used to give a Wii away.
Yeah, well, I think
mom
that's the
gave mine
craziest
away.
thing about now. Like, I've been doing the resale and the vintage clothing more. Like, I've only really been doing that hard for like 5 years.
Yeah.
But just in the 5 years, how much it's changed. Like,
I think COVID, like when people were in the house and they didn't have anything to do. I think it boomed so many different little markets.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And vintage and video games and pretty much anything of resale.
Photography.
Like anything that you could resell just went through the roof.
Yeah.
You know, which sucks, but I mean,
Yeah, resale's cool, and
it is cool seeing more people get involved with it. You know? Like it's cool knowing there's a shop in Morganton, because when I was in high school, I would have loved to have a place to go get a $5 T-shirt.
People love it, man, and like I think that's the coolest thing for me is like, you know, walking around on Friday night and seeing a bunch of people walking around and stuff that like you found and like washed. And gave them like a good deal on, and like they're out here like instead of going to like Hot Topic and buying a $20 T-shirt, you come get something that nobody else got. You know,
the fake like recently printed, screen printed stuff that's like made to look vintage.
Yeah, and I mean, and I sell that stuff, but on the $5 rack, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so
it's not as cool as something that's like somebody wore this shit in '83.
I want to go into that as well, talking about people who do the 360 when they hear the over $100 T-shirt.
Yeah,
I think it's also a thing here.
Oh yeah,
because
100%.
Your prices compared to a shop like in Charlotte,
oh yeah,
or in Atlanta,
Asheville,
even Asheville are great.
Yeah,
but people here in Morganton, Marion, Spruce Pine, like these real small towns, they get very uptight and offended by it.
Yeah,
but I mean, somebody from Charlotte would walk in and think they're bonking you over the head because you're selling them a $20 T-shirt.
And I'm fine with that, because if I'm selling it and I'm agreeing to it, then I was cool with it, you know, just like,
sure.
and that's how, like, to me, like, that's how business should be. It's like, you know, like it's a transaction.
If you
should
can
know
make
what
some
you're
money
getting,
off of it,
yeah.
you know, for
So
sure.
if I made money, they're happy. Who cares?
Yeah.
I sell all kinds. Like I put people on that are like reselling, you know, like if you like wholesale and like mids, you know, like it pays the bills, because literally I sell so much of that stuff that's literally enough to like pretty much pay the bills.
Like we were talking outside, I didn't know how like it's levels to it. You know, like I said, when I first got into it, it was let's go see what we could find at the Goodwill. Then it's okay, someone's already found this, I can buy it from them. And then it's like, okay, there's a store. And then it's like, okay, there's someone selling to the store who has enough stuff to supply a whole store.
Finding the shit randomly is the hard work part.
Yeah,
that's the grunt work.
Yeah,
and when you really get to it, that's what even makes that shit even more magical, because when you find something, it's like, damn, it's been overlooked by all these different levels of people, you know.
It's just like any kind of supply chain or like anything in like capitalism too. It's like, okay, so if you go out and you find it at the Goodwill and you pay $3 for it, that's the best deal you could have got on it, unless somebody gave it to you. Unless you're the fucking Goodwill and got it donated. Yeah,
facts.
Then the only other way to get it for that price is to go and get it yourself. Yeah. And so
it's work.
Yeah,
it is.
Because I mean, the thing about my store, you come in even on like the $5 racks, you wouldn't have found 10 of those shirts on the Goodwill rack, you know, looking hard.
No, you found
so
all
it's
the good
like,
stuff.
Maybe
I mean,
in 10
it's there.
weeks you would have found it, you know.
But I mean, you know, too, it depends. It's like frequency. Like it's just like playing the lottery. You got a better chance the more tickets you put in. If you go and you sit at the bins all day, or you have like a route that you hit racks every single day.
And I know there's a strategic method to that too. They restock the bins at a certain time on certain days.
Well, it's just a rotation. They get in a rotation. You can watch, and like, you know, they put stuff out, and like me, I'm different. Like, I'm not getting in there and like getting boxed out like over a T-shirt and like having to call one of my associates to get me out of jail. Like, nah, like I go back after everybody's already fought through it. That's where you find the stuff.
Plus,
man.
you probably
plain sight.
you probably find stuff that the other people just had no clue that.
Or they're looking for a very specific thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay,
They're only going for band tees.
And the thing is, it's like, okay, it's by the pound. So if you find like a T-shirt or a bandana or something, it's going to be like 18 cents. Or, you know, so it's...
I didn't know they priced it by the pound.
So that's how like the bins work. So if you go to like Goodwill, like Conover, Winston, Asheville, one of the outlets, that's what they do. It's like $1.89 a pound.
Okay.
So
damn,
you're not gonna take like
so
Oshkosh Bagosh jeans because they're gonna be like $4. But any kind of T-shirt, I'm like, I'm taking it because
Bins
I'll
are
wash
ass,
it
dude.
$5.
Yeah.
I hate the bins.
I've only
and
went a
especially
couple
like you were
times.
saying, people actually will put you in the post over a bin. Like they,
I mean, like I said, I'm not like I'm like that. I don't like the vibe of the bins. I'd rather
That's-
go and hit the
bro,
stores and.
I went
But
to
Like some Kanye with the trash bag shit.
But
Yeah,
that's where
almost.
you go and you like fill your car up for like $65
Yeah,
though. So
yeah.
like I try and do that once a week, where
Yeah,
it's like I'm not very selective. I'm not like only looking for like single stitch band tees. Like no, if it's anything I can sell,
that's
I'm
another
taking
thing
it.
too.
Like
The single stitch and the sleeves, and there's just, bro, it's just such a wide open little.
oh, it is. It's cool. Like I
Little
said,
thing.
I'm learning every day. Like I said, I'm
Yeah.
still new, like in the grand scheme of things. So it's like
Nah, it's dope.
I
love
kind of
the-
just roll with it, like I'm a student of it. It's like anything. You're going to learn what works for you. I'm like, there's certain things that I'm just like, even I don't care how trendy it is. I don't care how cool it is. Like I told you, I'll sell it online.
Yeah.
I'm not selling it in my store though.
No, and
because I think it's stupid. And I try and take more like the Joe Dirt mentality when it comes to business. Like it's not about you. It's about the consumer. You
Yeah.
can't just sell snakes and sparklers.
That's a fact.
You got to sell it all.
Yeah,
but
sure.
like I'm drawing a line at like certain stuff that I just think is like a cringy for me,
No,
so it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
man, I'll sell it, I'll make money off of it, but I'm not putting it in my like very small curated space.
Yeah. I was gonna talk about that side too. Is the whole online thing aspect of it too. Whereas like you're able to have this like, person to person store where people can come and shop, but then you have the online for the $200 T-shirt where the grandma won't understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you have that ability to have both of them. And like I think I was telling Trevor earlier, like I was like, that's the coolest part because it's almost like running two businesses
Yeah, and
out of one.
it is, and it's
Almost.
kind of like there's never a downtime
Yeah.
because it's okay. Yeah, the store like today was ass. Like literally didn't sell anything today. $0 in the store.
In the store.
But I
yeah.
sold like 2 pairs of sneakers and like some clothes online. So it's like, okay, it made up for and it goes both ways. Like
Yeah.
sometimes both are hitting, sometimes only one, but usually at least one of them does,
I think to have a niche brick and mortar, in 2023, you have to have an online side of it.
Yeah.
Well, and they play off each other too. So I have people that are my in-store customers, and then they'll see something on my online store,
And come by.
screenshot it, and then I ain't got to pay fees and ship it. They just come and get it.
Come get it, yeah.
So then I can hook them up. It's like, okay, yeah, this said $65. I got you. Just bring me $50 cash, and we're cool on it.
sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And so,
That's easy.
And then I'm making, instead of making $40 after fees and all that, so it works both ways. But
And then they feel like they got an amazing deal. When
and that's what I'm
really
all about.
you was gonna sell it for 50 at the end of the day after.
No
fees
matter
paid.
who bought it,
Yeah.
So it's like, and two, it's cool because I take those shirts, those $200 shirts, they're in the store. I like to show them off, so they're
hell
in
yeah.
there. You never know, somebody might buy them.
Shit, I'm the type of guy who would do that.
And I mean, it's like not like I don't want to say like trade bait, but people will
100%.
come and say, hey, here's my closet clean out for this one shirt, and then I got stuff that's easier to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I literally did that.
I know, yeah.
like
Thank
2
you.
weeks ago.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. He's wearing it. Yeah. So, so that's a cool part of it too. And then it goes like the other way. So I have the stuff listed online, but then I've got it for sale in the store, and I've just got like a little sticker on it so that if I sell it or if Uncle Dave sells it at the store, then I'm not like, where the hell is this shirt? Like it's
Yeah.
not on my online rack.
Yep.
So it's like, there's so many transactions that like there's no way for me to keep track of every single thing that happens.
Yeah.
There's no cost like really associated with any
Yeah.
one piece. It's more like a cost of goods sold for the
Yeah.
day or the time.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of the way I have to look at it because there's so
Also-
much coming in.
With the online stuff, you might have for example, that Elton John piece. That one stuck out to me. It was a crazy piece.
Yeah.
I've never seen something that old
Yeah.
personally. There's somebody online who is the biggest Elton John collector, fan, whatever it might be.
Absolutely.
But in the brick and mortar, you might get that one Elton John fan out of one out of every 300 customers.
Yeah, and then out of that 300 customers, how many of them have the means and
Exactly.
the want to buy that piece? So, yeah, I mean, it's cool because, like I said, I've got that whole rack of like shirts that it's like they're here. Like I'll hook somebody up on them, you know. Somebody that's kind of like if somebody's really like eyeballing one, I'm like, man, if you really like that shirt, like I'll work with you because I mean it's it's not monopoly money, but it's like
it's like
if I got $75 on a shirt, it's not like I paid $50 for it.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
You know, like
you said, everything in the store is bought.
It's for sale too. You know, I'm not like I'd rather somebody get a deal and keep coming back.
And you make money.
Yeah, I'm making money no matter what on like that transaction.
That's like the cool thing about having a product. So like you have these products and you can sell them in store or online. It's like a lot of businesses now, like what we're doing, it's all online, and the only way that you can make money off of it is based on like a popularity basis, or you're doing this many numbers and such. Like, so trying to relate like what we're doing to what you do as a business. I'm sitting here like trying to listen to like, you know, someone who actually knows how to run a business. I'm listening for ideas always. So that's like the hard thing whenever it comes to like what we do.
I think that aspect comes into like where we're gonna have not to completely change this whole conversation.
Yeah, I mean this ain't all about me. Like,
no,
we'll talk about everything.
I like to listen for little ideas.
I
and
think
stuff,
the idea comes from like, okay, when we make our hat, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
We go to Witt and be like, hey, Witt,
put this. We put this?
We got this price on it. You think you could sell it at this price?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And that's
we'll have to do like a whole collaboration.
Like,
you know,
that's kind of where we're
the
gonna
thing,
have to.
and where I was getting into is like if we, you know, at some point every online business wants to make merchandise, especially if you're in entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have that popularity for people even to want to buy your product.
Correct.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it's nice whenever you have like he said, you got like a brick and mortar niche. Like there's already people looking for vintage, and people who are always looking for like new stuff that they've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually go to a shop like yours and they just hope to find something that piques their interest, you know, catches their eye. So
well, and I always tell everybody that comes in, I'm like, hey, I kind of break it down. I'm like, this stuff isn't assorted by like size, you know, the middle rack, it's usually like a seasonal or whatever. So like I got football jerseys and like coats. So I'm like, hey, this is where this is. This first rack right here that you're like looking at, this is my highest end stuff. I really highly encourage you to look at it because it's cool. You might not ever see it again, you know? So it's like, I'm almost like offering like a service too of like, it's kind of like that nostalgia bomb. Like, oh man, I remember Beavis and Butthead, or, oh, I remember this or this. And it's like, oh, so it kind of, it gets people like thinking about that. And then they're like, almost like, oh, well, yeah, I'm not paying this much for a shirt, but I will buy this $20 shirt.
There's almost like a museum factor to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I like curate it. I mean, I curate it. It's like I want some of it is stuff that I just want for the store. It's like showpieces. I mean, it's for sale. I mean, it's
it's like it's become so popular that, you know, I watch a music video of one of my favorite rappers and they're wearing something vintage. They're wearing like an old,
they're not
like,
wearing Gucci no more.
Yeah. They're wearing, you know, they might style it differently with like the expensive shoes or something, but in order to get the shirts and stuff, it's not even necessarily about how much you paid for it, but what it is, which I like.
And you'd be surprised too, like how like that piece like really finishes out an outfit, you know, and how like you can move it around, like you were talking about like the pants, you know, and like the shoes, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, you could buy like something Gucci, you know, and that would look cool, and everybody know that was Gucci, and it was cost a lot of money.
Now, hold on, wait, like, before you keep going, let me tell you something. We got a Gucci fiend over here.
Okay.
Hey, Gucci's cool, but when you start talking Balenci's, you know, Trevor might get off the couch and storm out the room.
That's outside of the Mud Bros pay grade, man.
But what's crazy
but what's cool when he breaks it down to me is like, bro, they're statement pieces. Like,
I'm wearing
this Brave shirt with these Balenciagas, and which one do you look at first? It's, you know, the Braves Letterman jacket or the $1,000 shoes? You know?
Like I'll wear that type of stuff, but only for certain things. Like, whenever
I like it, you got to have the balance. Like, I think it's cool to mix the old shirt with the sneakers and the.
Whenever I was making music, I would like look at it as I'm buying these shoes for this music video, and like that's just a part of the budget. Like it's not really about like having the shoes. Like, and if you don't know how to style the shit, it ain't no good. Like, ain't nothing cool about $1,200 shoes if they don't work with what you're wearing. And at some point, even the more expensive stuff becomes harder to style. Like, it's cooler to wear a pair of white Air Forces with certain shit. Like, you're going to get off better than wearing the Balenciagas if you're wearing the Air Forces. You know what I mean?
Designer stuff is almost like it's designed to be worn as art. So you need the jacket with the matching pants, and it needs to be worn together.
Like,
but when you wear them together, you look like a damn.
You look like like you got the shit off a mannequin.
Like a tapestry, bro.
Yeah. So, like, I've got, like, my coolest thing is I got, like, the Louis Vuitton denim jacket, but I can't, like, for the life of me, figure out the pants to wear with it. Like, I swear to God, the only pants that'll go with it are the matching pants, and I'm like, I don't got the bankroll for that.
Yeah, I don't have that problem. I got like if it fits, I'm wearing it. It's kind of my like.
I'm like,
this is
yeah.
kinda,
Bro, I've been going with. Sorry to interrupt you. I've been going with vintage tee. Today I'm wearing jeans, but I'm normally in chinos and shoes. That's been my shit for fucking 10 years now.
Same, yeah. But let me ask you this: like, what was your like? Not what got you into it, because I've already asked you that question. But like, what's your like your nostalgia kick? Like, mine is like wrestling. Like, I'm into the like. What's your itch, or what was it like? Like, my thing was I watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
And that was, I hate Will Smith turned out to be a cuck. You know what I'm saying? But like back in the day, that was the flyest dude to me. Like how he wore the he wore the fives with
looked
no
up
laces.
to him.
The grape Jordan 5 is my favorite shoe ever because of that.
I used to try to act like Will Smith around girls whenever I was like in elementary school.
I think to simplify your question, what is your inspiration?
Not necessarily inspiration.
Like what sparks like a true like interest, you know? Like
what is just like the coolest shit to you? Like, it doesn't matter.
So for me, really what does it is, you know, I was telling you like about the wholesale and about like all like seeing people wearing like the stuff you sold them. And so for me, it's knowing that like, okay, like I'm selling like 100 shirts to Ragtime in Asheville, and people are going to be traveling from all over the country buying that. And so it's going here and going there. And then, you know, he sends certain stuff to like Japan, like by the pallet. And I'm like, that's what does it for me. That's what does it for me, is just knowing that this stuff
You had
that
a
I went
hand
out
in all this.
that all these people have drip all over the world, and that it all started
From
because I like bought something
Made the
and
connection
repurposed
and
it.
Yeah,
So
that's fine.
for me, it's like the web is what really does it. Like for me, as far as like, you know, the nostalgia part of it, I just like all like the bright colors and like that, just like 90s, like
the retros,
just the big like doofy like 90s stuff.
Yeah,
because,
I do too.
you know,
bro.
like I was born in 92, so like in like the mid like, you know, late 90s, like that's the stuff that I like.
that's
we
peak.
like never even decided what kind of vibe our marketing would be. And once we put everything together, it's just like 90s kid shit. Like,
Yeah.
the colors,
Low-key,
all
Well, no,
that.
I mean
like,
everything at my store, that's kind of how it is. It's like Pokemon and just all this like, stuff from like, and it's like, man, even if you don't want Pokemon, it's like it gets you thinking, you know?
Yeah,
It's
you're
like,
like-
kind of like, you know, like it's almost like
reminds
the
you.
store. Like I don't have like a smell in there, but like when you walk in, it's definitely like gets you like.
yeah.
No,
It's
I-
like,
I
you know what I mean?
I-
You know what I mean?
No,
And-
I know exactly what you mean.
And now that
Yeah.
I've done the comic book collage, it's even more because I
Yeah.
like didn't just take like the strips. I took,
smells like the inside of the book almost.
Yeah.
It
Like
takes
the
you back.
glue and
and then too, you've got like all that old like Sega Genesis advertisements and like
Yes.
Bubble Yum and just
Yeah.
all that doofy.
I love
and so
old
now
ads.
now that I did that, it really brought it together. And so two, I've got the guy, you know, like I got a corner store. Like it's not the best location, like in conjunction with downtown Morganton, but one thing that I've like really had to figure out is like getting people in. Like yeah, it's great that the online's doing good, but I still like the more I can do
having
out of
the
the store,
store is like a
it's
little
the
bit
shit,
cooler,
you know. Yeah,
You're
it's like-
there. You're in there. You curated
it's not.
it.
You're.
It's you.
I'm not like haggling over a message on Depop. I'm like, the person's trying it on, and like it's just a lot different. So for me, you know,
I think for like us, people our age especially, like at a time where we grew up and the way everything is now, it's just we feel like we're in a little bit different of a world sometimes. And like taking a step into a store like that is just like a reminder of
it's asylum.
this is where I came. Like you talk about seeing a Pokemon shirt. I wasn't the biggest Pokemon guy growing up, but whenever I see like Pokemon stuff, it reminds me of like after baseball practice as a
simpler
kid,
times, man.
like my friend with his Game Boy Advance with the light on it and
Yeah.
stuff. You know, like it just reminds me of that type of stuff.
And I mean, that's what I'm going for. Like with the store, like that's really like what I want it to do because I'm a sales guy. Like I'm really big into like the psychology of sales and like buying and things like that. And there's just triggers everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And it's like I'm not trying to like scam people. I don't want people to just be buying stuff because they walked in and
Straight up,
got hypnotized
brainwashed
by the
them.
wall. But it's like,
It's pretty easy to do though.
Yeah,
but it gets you going, you know.
Yeah.
But
and
when somebody looks up and sees a Sega Genesis ad, then
they think about it.
That nostalgia trigger pops in their head. They're like, "What else was I doing then?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I was also doing Pokemon
Yeah.
cards."
And then I
He's
got a
those.
Sega Genesis, you know, for you to look by, you know.
That's
so
what I was
it's
about
like,
to say. If you- Hey man, now I remember. That's what that was. Oh shit, and they got one. I might just have to buy it.
This thought just popped into my head too, and I'm gonna try to get it into words. But like, vintage pieces for me too, a lot of times are like kind of my way of like just subtly saying like, yeah, I know about this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Also,
that's
like,
the
I'm
painful.
different.
That's the painful side, though, is that how many people I know are buying stuff and they have no idea what it is. So that's a double-edged sword too.
no,
you know,
I
like-
do feel that, but like, it's kind of like my way of like,
But like you liked Goldberg,
like
like
I
you
see
watched
this
wrestling.
Goldberg.
We
This
watched
is Goldberg before WCW champion Goldberg, and I
Yeah.
know that's Goldberg because he doesn't have the chest hair. When he
Yep.
got the belt, he was more grizzled. You know,
Yep.
like I know this is a very young, early Goldberg team.
See,
and
for
it's
me,
like,
I have to be that guy first to get into something though. I have to be the guy that doesn't know what he's buying, and then like get it and love it and like it.
then start researching
and then
it and-
start to learn. I'm
yeah.
not one of those people that like gets obsessed with something before I got it in my hands.
But see, and what made me think about that was like thinking of like old like some of my favorite T-shirts are the Rose Bowl T-shirts,
Yeah.
and it's just like you see those T-shirts and you're like, oh, I know what happened in that game
Yep.
in '92 or like
Yeah,
you know
like
I've watched
Oregon,
it,
Michigan, or just
I've
like
watched
whatever,
a
you know, like,
documentary
yeah.
like I want the 2002 I think it's 2002 Rose Bowl Miami Ohio State game where Ohio State won, but Miami actually won.
yeah.
Like they were celebrating on the field and they threw
I
a late
remember-
flag
yeah,
and
yep,
called the
yep.
game back. I want that shirt so bad. Just
It's
'cause,
funny.
like, it's-
So one of my like main like sources is like in the Midwest, and so he like probably like every week I get at least one like 99 Wisconsin Rose
okay,
Bowl
yeah.
like
Yeah.
shirt.
Hey, as a Packers fan, I love that for us
yeah,
because you always got some Packers.
I
gear.
do, man. And so
And I'm probably one of few Green Bay Packer fans in Western North Carolina, so that's the spot. I got a
Green
question
Bay
that's
Fudge
kind of
Packer.
off topic, but not. You're selling used goods, but they appreciate,
yeah,
Yeah.
which is
it's
and
the
that's-
opposite of what I'm used to because I was in the car business, so it's like that's a depreciating
Yes,
asset
as
no
soon
matter
as
how
you
you
buy
look
it.
at it. Yeah,
So that's why I
That-
really kind of want to get into that too,
explains some stuff
because
to me.
you know there's very few markets that are like that where you're buying used goods that can and do appreciate in value.
yeah,
So
and you
know,
kind of name your price on some stuff like
yeah,
the comps and the want is what sets the price.
Yeah.
Like
The
how bad
demand.
somebody wants it, what other people have paid for it. That's what sets the price.
that's
Kind of like real estate too.
yeah,
a-
absolutely.
a barter tool I've learned in like shops like this right here. If like I see something that's like okay, stuff's kind of not you, but like there's a store that you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say amount, but like okay, this right here is overpriced, but I'm willing to pay that price for this.
Yeah.
But I need this thing that's overpriced to come down to regular price. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
It's willing to make the sell. You can get it sometimes.
You know, like I'm willing to overpay on this thing that I want
Yeah.
more than this thing.
Correct.
But I need them both to justify it. You know what I'm saying?
Him
And it's
talking
like-
about the shoes, he really is nice with it. I went with him to one of those. What would it be called?
it's just like a
It's like a
sneaker
set-
event,
Like
pretty
set
much.
up-
like a convention or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Like a
very
setup.
small.
It was a shop kind of.
It was one of Krishan's things.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
yeah.
He
Yeah,
went
shout
there.
out, shout out Sweet Kicks.
Yeah, he went there with a certain amount of shoes, came back with more shoes, and made like $1,500.
Yeah, I mean I'm
that's
done.
crazy.
I'll stop you right there. I'm done with the sneakers, man. That's just
It's
not
a
mine.
very competitive.
Well, it's
game,
just so
too.
much. It's like
we can
this.
talk about that for a second, bro. The sneaker game is dead, bro. Like when I first I used to work at Finish Line, And like I'm telling you, I had some of the best years of my like life just so involved with shoes.
Yep.
And like just great times. But like, dude, the whole online resale, buying all the GR shoes, and no one can buy a GR shoe at the store, and you're paying overpriced for a shoe that no one even wants.
Yeah, like I said,
I think
a prime example of that just happened was the Travis Scott Golf.
Yeah,
he just put out a golf shoe that sold out instantly because of bots, because it had his name on it. And there was one guy on Reddit I saw who was hitting a golf ball and was like, hey, one golfer got this shoe. Yeah, you know, how many people are like, I got a guy on Instagram who botted 50 pairs of them.
That shit's stupid too, because like Travis Scott gets like the Happy Meal collaboration, and like weird ass people are going and getting kids meals to get the toy. Like,
just ruin the game. But that goes into another thing too, is like, what are you doing it for? Do you only want the hype shoes? Because there's so many other like.
I get them because I want to wear them.
No, facts, but it's like you almost kind of got to find a different niche to get into. It's like I like the collab shits. That's what I'm big on. It's like,
especially when it's like an unlikely collab.
Yeah, well, that or just like legendary. Like Nike's always gonna do something with Clot. They're always gonna do something with Supreme. They're always gonna do certain things that have always stood the test of time. But kids these days don't even know. Like how does a Nike collab shoe with Stussy sit on Nike.com, but a bullshit ass colorway of a Jordan 4 sells out?
Like I said,
I just don't understand.
I just don't. With me,
it's
I spent a big chunk when we opened the store on the sneakers, and it was just kind of flatline. And you know, I ended up made money on some, lost some on some, sat on some, and so to me, I overstepped. You know, I was like, oh. I got a vintage store. Got to have shoes.
If it's annoying and it's not making you a lot of money, like what's the point?
You would have been the fucking man.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and I was thinking too, demographic and like location. Like Morganton, there ain't nobody with sneakers like I have, and so I was thinking that would be a come up. But like I said,
going back to like
live and learn, man, on that one. So
going back to like the collaboration stuff, though, it's so cool seeing brands that have such big of an impact that they can do stuff like the Kith BMW collab. Like they dropped a new level of M cars that got like the Kith logo in the seats everywhere, and just like I can get like the floor mats. You can get like the Supreme.
There's this one dude I watch on YouTube. He's like a fitness guy.
Yeah.
He got that car. Like,
he got like the Kith M4, like the Toronto
I kind of been
red.
following him for a long time, and when he got money from his YouTube shit, like that's the car he went and got. Was the Kith M3.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard.
He got it in the seats, bro.
Oh, no, it's pretty
I got
sick.
friends like out here like going crazy to try to find the Kith floor mats for their M3s and stuff.
You can't get them. They only came in the car.
I got one friend who has a set of them, and I was like, yo, sell me those. He's like, everything's for sale. And I'm like, I DM'd him like, how much for real? And he told me, I was like, ain't worth it.
Yeah.
Where do you see the vintage market going from here? So
it's got to pop, there's like some weird trends that I see popping, like when I say pop, like busting, like there's no way it can sustain.
The bubble pops.
Yeah, and so that's why we were talking about like single stitch, like 80s, 90s shirts, like those are always going to be cool. I just like some of the stuff that's like coming back, like the big baggy jeans and some of the more like early 2000s like style and stuff. I like
the Y2K stuff.
Yeah, and I mean it's cool. Like I said, I sell a lot of it online, and I got people that buy a lot of it from me. But it's just not like I don't see it like overrunning the true vintage and stuff.
Do you think?
I think it's just a generational thing. It's just like we were buying stuff that was a little bit before we were born, but we knew what it was. That's what a lot of like it was before their time, but they know what it is.
In 5 years, it's going to be PS2 instead of Nintendo 64. Yeah. It's a rotating thing. That's a good answer.
Do you think that like the wave of like we were talking about earlier, the reprinted tees of like, you know, the PacSun mass producing the rap tees and stuff like that, do you think that hurt it?
No,
do you
because
think it dampened it down? Or
I think that it like weeds out the people that know what they're talking about big time. Because when you're in these groups, you know, and somebody's like, oh, vintage Nirvana shirt, you know, yada yada yada, and it's like got a screen print tag, and you're like, dude, you got 700 comments already. You know, and
now
it's
that
just like getting torched.
That
guy just got torched, dude. You know, like don't. don't come on like a group with 20,000 people in it that
No.
like a big portion of them have stores or do this full time and try and not know what you're talking about. You
Now
know?
that I
Like,
say
so-
that, it kind of almost does the opposite.
yeah, it kind of helps because
Yeah,
it's
it kind of
like,
helps it because like
'cause then people
now you have to know, or you're gonna get clowned for wearing the
or
TJ Maxx the TJ
Yeah.
Maxx Nirvana tee.
well
Boys in the Hood.
or
yeah.
so a lot of like the younger kids, that's what they're wearing. You know, it's like that.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Like I said,
And
No,
it's a
whatever.
you
style
you
for
got to
them.
get into it because
Yeah.
I mean,
But I think that it helped, if anything, because then it just made the real ones more desirable. Like that shirt. Like there's somebody that's got a Def Leppard shirt, but it ain't that one.
I think
you know?
they
it ain't
sell
like a real
that
one.
shirt at Target with
No,
no
they
back
do.
print.
100%.
Yeah,
But
And
this
just
one's
like-
got the
It ain't-
gear on it.
And
It ain't
fade
the one,
and
man. It ain't the one.
Yeah.
it fits better. It's
It's a better
Single stitch,
t-shirt.
nice shirt, you know. So it's just like I said, it's completely different. And
Oh,
there's
yeah,
people
dude.
that's what they want. Like you can go, like you see, like me, like being in the vintage. Like a lot of my like sponsored stuff that comes through is like these like hype brands that they like make like this like already faded looking like big like all over
yeah,
print
dude.
like Batman Forever shirt or something. And it's like
Culture
dude, that's
Kings.
like something like that, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like that's cool, and you can go and pay like $60 and have that shirt, but it's not as cool as like having the shirt that came out when the movie came out.
I see that Culture King sponsored ad of the Kobe Bryant big head
Yep,
tee
all the time.
every single day.
Mine's
For
the
me, it's the Batman
when
one.
I when I open up Instagram,
Or there's
bro.
a Lord of the Rings one. That
Yeah,
I've
and it's
seen
like-
I haven't
so
seen it. Mine
fucking
is the
much.
Kobe tee.
I see
bro.
the Pac Sun one with like the E30 M3 on it all the time.
It's crazy
And I'm
how
like,
the internet
yo,
knows
I
us.
want that, but like, I'm not buying it online, and I know y'all ain't got it in the store.
That's a fact. Let's take a break real quick. Check the camera,
Sure.
make sure it ain't catching on fire and shit. all right. We're back. Go ahead, Cambo.
So I had a little list of questions. We got
Okay,
through most
yeah,
of
okay.
them. I guess I really just got one more question, bro. What is the most expensive item that you've had and or sold?
Second part to that question / coolest.
That's what I was gonna ask too. There we go.
Cool. So,
Make it different. Because most expensive,
yeah.
and then
Because the coolest one might not even be that expensive
Exactly.
to you.
Yeah, and it's hard because like that's been, you know, that's so the most expensive $700. Madonna t-shirt. Madonna all over t-shirt.
Where
Yeah.
$700. Yeah, so that for me. The coolest.
And that's crazy too because, you know, last time I was in your store 2-3 weeks ago, whatever it was, there was like 18 cool pieces in there that I thought were some of the coolest pieces I'd ever seen.
Well, that's what I like to have. I like to have like 50 of the coolest you
yeah.
ever seen. You know, that's kind of what I'm going for.
What was
but
the one that just
Just
What?
spoke
Okay,
to you.
better
Russell
question.
Yeah.
What was the one that hurt the most getting rid of?
I thought it was a good question.
Where you was like, where you didn't, you
Well,
didn't. But
I've had a bunch that it hurt to get rid of because like I had them a long time. I thought they were real cool. They didn't sell, and I ended up like wholesaling them. You know, still making money, but not, you know, getting $50 instead of like $200 because it's just like, oh my god. And so those hurt. Not just because you didn't make money, but because like, man, I just really wish somebody would have bought that and been like, this
Yeah.
is the shirt I've been looking for. But
Yeah. It's a tough question.
it is, man. I've just like because I
You've
have
seen
had
so
some
much
cool ones.
shit.
I don't know. I just sold my homie that Randall Cunningham like logo 7 like
Yeah, the
jersey. That was
jersey.
pretty cool just because jerseys I think are cool, especially when it's like a period jersey. It's not
Yeah.
like a Mitchell and Ness like
Reprinted,
$300
yeah,
like
yeah.
new one. You know, like those are cool too, but. I think that like period like jerseys like I've
Oh,
had
yeah,
like
I love
like champion
jerseys,
like
yeah.
you know like Sean Kemp and like jerseys and
Oh,
like
yeah.
That,
I love some like nutmeg like you
You
know
ever
old
see a
like
champion Charles Barkley, Purple Suns, bro?
gotcha
Just think
That
about it.
that bullets, the Jordan bullets.
yeah
Yeah,
was
that
a
one was
crazy
tough
piece.
too. What? That was a crazy size though. What
no
was
it was XL.
Was it? It was
Yeah.
just big, wasn't it?
It's
It
huge.
just-
I could almost
huge,
wear it.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
like the big shirts.
I remember that. I was like, I don't know why that's so big, but that's fire.
You you're a 3X, right?
Yeah, most of the time depends.
Yeah.
Vintage 3X. Yeah,
so vintage 3X. My bad. I didn't mean to.
and even some of them, man, are like boxy, but it's
Yeah,
like you
But
know,
that's
like,
why I love it. Like I
Yeah.
love the fits, bro. Like,
I do too.
But you ever see a 3X guy walk in and you're like, we ain't got shit, brother. We ain't got
Well,
shit.
I was like, man, I'll sell you the shirt off my back if you like it, you know. But no, I keep that stuff though, man. I got a whole little like big and tall rack because it's
that's
like
fire, bro.
But you know, part of it is because it's not a whole rack, but it's like I got a section that's like 2X and up because a lot of people like they're not selling it. They're selling it to me in like these wholesale packs because it's gonna be a pain in the ass to sell. Yeah. And I'm like, I'll wear it a few times and then bring it in.
Yeah.
I was at a sneaker con. I guess it was about last year sometime. And I went in there looking for one pair of shoes. The Tom Sachs general purpose shoe in the yellow color. And I was on the phone with my girl and I was like, I have to have this pair of shoes. I walked around the entire convention and there was a bunch of tables set up, you know, how it goes. And there was this one corner spot where you didn't have to buy a table. You had to buy a section and you could set up in that section.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to go look over here. Maybe somebody's got a pair. And I see a guy wearing them. I was like, hey, bro, have you seen any more of those in the convention? How long have you been here? Have you seen them? He's like, no, man, there's a guy up front who's got a brown pair, but he's asking a lot for them. I was like, man, like, I'm looking for, I would kill for a pair. And he was like, what size you wear? I was like, 11 and a half, 12. And he was like, crazy enough, bro, these on my feet are 11 and a halves. He was like, give me $100 for them. You could have them. I straight up bought the shoes off man's feet.
Yeah, no, I mean, dude, it's for sale. If somebody like literally comments on y'all's YouTube, like, hey, how much for that shirt? That's some bitch for sale. So you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
that shit I went to him. That shit I went to with him. I was looking for zebras. These shoes that I have on, and they were hard to find at the time. There was one pair at the whole fucking place, and they were my size.
Yep.
And I didn't get a deal on them, but
you never do when it's the one you really want.
Yeah,
unless the dude's wearing them.
Especially if they know you really want them.
Oh, yeah,
don't tell them.
Nah, man.
Like, man, I'll think about it.
So many zebras, man. I don't know. I just felt like I needed another
can't
pair,
come in. You know,
I had to have them because I got them whenever they first came out, and they was fucking worn out, dude. The ones I had for a long time, they smelled. The fucking soles were straight yellow. Looked like the damn zebra butters, dude.
Not the zebra butters, bro.
But yeah,
that's stunk.
Yeah, they was bad, dude.
With peanut butter guts.
Yeah. It was like they sat out in the sun. They probably did, bro. I got to the point where I was washing my car in them.
Mowing the grass in the zebras.
So, you got anything else you want to talk about, Mud Bros, man? Store-wise,
so I got my guy coming this weekend to give it a exterior facelift. I'm wrapping, I'm vinyling out the windows.
Yeah.
I think that's like something I was missing. You know, I just got the little bitty sticker. You can't really see it from the road. Yeah. You know, just to get it in there, you know, when we got going. So I think that's a big step. And then, like I said, doing the comic book walls. So
hell yeah.
I think that's going to
put on the story looks sweet.
Yeah, no, it's going to be cool. It's been a lot of work. That's been all week hitting it pretty hard. But
listen,
you know.
I know how that shit is, man. Yeah. So, like, I guess, you know, the rest of this is more, you know, more wit. We'll get, you know, just chopping it up.
Yeah, because you're a businessman full and through. You got other business, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do want to ask, I guess it's kind of related to the store. It definitely is, actually. But as a businessman, like, what made you, you know, just because we've recently, you know, got a little office space and shit like that. What, you know, at what point did you know it's like, okay, I need to take this to the next level? You know what I'm saying? At what point did it go from like being a hobby, you know, or not necessarily a hobby? Because you said you was always selling shit.
Yeah,
when it was like, okay, let me get a storefront. Let me put.
Just when this store came available, so it was hot box before. So Fox was able to help me like kind of segue into that. I never would have had a vintage store in Asheville just because it priced me out of it. It doesn't make sense. This kind of can almost be a hobby, you know.
So was it always the plan, or was it?
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted a store, you know, like the kind of store I guess is, roller coastered, you know, like I was like really into like the pawn thing for a while. Like I wanted to have a pawn shop, but then this just made the most sense because it's something I enjoy and it's something that I feel like is sustainable.
Yeah,
like. I'm always gonna be able to find stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean you're selling shit from the 70s, 80s, like
it's out there.
That's cool
always
too,
gonna be there.
because like
I wish I would have got into it 20 years ago. Well, I mean, not really. I would have been 11, but you know, like I wish I would have got into it 10 years ago.
Same for us with this shit, man. Like 5 years ago for sure.
No, especially, bro, because I mean I assume you know Candler's kind of a lot like Marion. It's smaller.
Yeah.
Than Asheville, you know. It's.
Well, you know, like I said, it's like now there's so many more people doing it that 10 years ago
It
you would have been cleaning the house. You know?
that was always my problem, bro. It's like just on a personal level, it was always like, man, I've always had dreams and aspirations of doing creative stuff or, doing all this other shit, but like, man, fuck y'all, man. Y'all can't let me fuck up one time. Let me slide.
No, I swear to God,
ain't
every
shit,
cast, bro, you make up 3 words.
Why the fuck y'all gotta point it out though? Let me do my thing,
Wait,
man.
what? We were just giggling a little
Some
bit.
hoes, man.
Because I love it, bro. I
Y'all
fucking
won't
love
fight
it.
me over.
Motherfucker
fucking
said
love
Anyway,
apparitions.
I said aspirations, man. Aspirations, whatever, man.
Sorry.
You knew what I was talking about.
Man, he had aspirations and he wanted reparations.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But it was always like I was always so worried about like what people thought or like what was
Oh yeah, it's
You
always
know.
been a big thing because like
not even necessarily that. I was scared of the process, really.
Yeah.
yeah,
You
or
know?
just scared of like it's like the biggest jump is just doing it. Like the stuff that comes after, like
That's
getting
always been
better.
the easy part.
It's
for me,
like
man.
once you're doing
Really?
it, then
Yeah.
there's no other option. Like once you start doing, it's like we felt like the best thing that we could do with our podcast is to get a space that we can set up that's ready to go all the time, that has our branding, that has our logo, something we can make look nicer than the living room, where we can, set up the equipment nicely. And we're not at a place where it's like, oh, well, this is paying for that. So it's like,
Yeah.
we're going to be paying out of pocket. But in order to like get things to where you think that they can make
You got to
a
grow
career,
into it. I think that the organic growth is really like, even with the store, like even though I took the jump and like started, we started small, like I want the store, the growth to happen because the store is growing, not because I'm forcing it. And I think
Yeah.
that just something like this, same thing. You don't want to go and like yak out a bunch of money and take it to the next level if it's not monetized. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
No,
So it's the
facts.
same like with the store. Like I wouldn't be spending money on the windows if I wasn't making enough money to do the
Exactly.
windows, and if I didn't see that that investment was going to make more money. And that's kind of how I've always looked at
Yeah.
everything. But for me, it's like way easier for me to spend my money to try and turn it into more money than it is for me to just pay bills with.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like
for
I
sure.
could pay these bills, but then that shit's gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd rather
And whenever you
make
buy,
a
like-
lick at least once. The
Yeah.
bills are going to get paid.
Nah, yeah.
That's
It's like
how I've always looked at
When
it.
you get a big
Parlay
amount of
these
money,
3 hockey games right here.
yeah, exactly.
you get like
yeah.
a big, like a good chunk of money,
comment.
and you're like, okay, now I can do this, or this is going to help do this, bro. It's kind of crazy how if you don't go ahead and spend the money on the shit, that money will get gone to stuff you have nothing to show for.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to spend some money, but you also have to set a boundary to where you're like, man, it's kind of like the people who are like constantly like spending all this money trying to like do like the music thing, but they've
Yeah.
like never got paid to do music. Like, and I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying,
Nah,
do
bro,
you,
that's
man,
the thing.
do your dreams. Like I said, everybody's got those dreams, but it's just like, to me, it's easier for me to cut the cord than to just ride a sinking ship
facts.
for me. Like,
Yeah.
so I'd rather say, okay, this didn't work. Fuck it. Something else.
That's kind of like what the podcast is for me. Like I spent 6 years making music, and I've got thousands of dollars invested in equipment and
Yeah.
buying shit that you need to make albums and all that sort of thing.
But it's like you could sell a couple beats,
I could.
you sell a couple beats and you make some money. And it's like I could really do this, and then it's like, it's just like, do I go full time? But it's like one of those things, especially music. Music is definitely one of those things where it's you have to treat it full time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
You
just
know,
to
it's
put
like-
into like perspective too, like I know that we I'm a bail bondsman.
Yeah.
So, man, that shit costs money. Like to
Oh, yeah.
start,
You
like
gotta-
you got to get a license. You got to go and take a class. You got to do this. You got to get all
Every
this
time
stuff.
you do the job, you give somebody money first.
Yeah, well, kinda, but that's like I said, that's a whole nother thing. But for me,
Wait a second.
like,
You telling me they give you some money to give?
Nah,
people-
bro, they get paid to bail somebody out, but
Mm-hmm.
they get like the court pays them back, right?
nah. So like what a bondsman actually gets paid has not. It's like
It's
completely different from the court. Like the court don't get shit unless the people don't go to court.
Okay.
So, but like with the bail bonds, so like there's two sides
Forking
of
up
it.
the 10%, right?
Huh?
You have to fork up.
I don't fork up nothing.
No, the person does
Yeah.
to you.
But they don't get that back. That don't go to court. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Okay.
That's just for me coming and getting you out of court. and you doing it for 10% instead of 100%. It's a premium.
And then those people, if they don't pay it back, what happens to them?
So you get paid either way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that. I always thought you had to be like cool with a bail bondsman and then pay the bail bondsman back like a payment plan.
Well, you can. I mean, so like I do payment plans, and if they don't pay you, you can take them back to jail. But But
that's where like a bounty hunter comes in, right?
Yeah, because I thought Dog the Bounty Hunter was the same thing as a bail bondsman.
So there's two sides of it. It's just like anything. It's just like if you sell buy here, pay here cars, like you're selling cars, but then you've got like the repo and recovery side of it for when they don't make the payment, for when the shit don't happen, for when they don't go to court. So
because if I'm not mistaking it, if they don't,
we're not gonna laugh when
if they don't go to court.
I didn't catch it.
It's on you.
Today, Junior.
If they don't go to court, it's on you as the bail bondsman, right?
Or the surety. So like I'm a surety bail bondsman. So like I literally have $0 liability when I go write a bond. When I get paid, it's because I'm the bondsman. You paying me to get you out of jail. If you don't go to court, the company that I am appointed by, the surety, they are the one who ideally has to pay out the money if the people don't go to court.
But surety is the person they're the company who hires the dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and every state's different. But so like with the bail bonds, I spend all this money. I'm not going to go and spend all this other money for other stuff until I start making money off bail bonds. So like I'm not going to go get like night vision goggles.
Yeah.
You're not going to go be Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Nah, like I don't need all that shit because I ain't even got nobody that's missed court yet. You know what I mean? And then you got like 5 months from the time they miss court before anybody's got to pay anything. So, but yeah, like I said, that's a whole nother thing. But that's kind of like, that's the way I look at business. Like you make an initial investment, but then you hope that any other money or any other things, that it's growth from that initial investment, not money out of your personal checking account. You know what I mean? So I don't want to buy things for the store or for bounty hunting or for the, any venture other than that initial investment. But you have to be smart, like and reasonable with what that is.
Yeah.
You can't be like, oh, I'm only going to spend $1,000, but then like that's all I'm spending, and until I start making some money, like it might cost $10,000 to get going. So you have to like look at each one. But
I'm not going to say I disagree with you, but I'm going to say I do believe in betting on yourself.
No, I mean,
so
me too.
if I don't have the $10,000,
yeah,
I'm going to go get the $10,000 at the day job.
Yeah, no, and that's what every venture. So every venture is started from.
Also, it's
the
like
day job pays
so it's like
the way I can
fuck the day job, and like you said, I'll pay my bills, but everything else, I'll just put it into the dream because I mean, you can die
like
with it. You know, what
I would be happy if the podcast,
but I also don't have a family.
Yeah. Well, that's a game changer.
You know what I'm
so
saying?
like,
so it's like
if we'd have been talking on this podcast 5 years ago, totally different topics and stuff.
Yeah.
The kid, the wife, like, love my family.
That's another thing.
So that now I'm not just, even though I'm betting on me, I'm gambling with other people's livelihood. So I have to look at it a little different because that day job money
goes to everybody.
That's feeding more than me now.
No,
so
exactly,
like I said, that
if the
changed
vintage
things
stuff, if you were doing the vintage stuff and you really liked it, say like how we like doing a podcast, and it was only paying for itself to keep running, is that worth it to you?
Well,
like I'd be happy with if this was.
If you have another source of income. Now, you can't go like full balls deep and like that's it. Like right now, bail bonds and vintage, that's all I got because I left the corporate gig. I'm coming back. They got me back on the hook. But I had a sabbatical, and in that time, all I got coming in is whatever I can make bail bonding and with the vintage store. So, no, I right now, no, I couldn't be happy with just like breaking even because it's not feasible. But that's the whole point.
5 years ago, before the family, would you?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'd have found I would have made the money some other way, or
I
would have done without things.
Exactly.
You know,
I mean, like it's making enough for like if you need to go get something to eat.
Yeah.
You know, I just
exactly. Yeah, like we were there, and it's like
and like I said, I was there. Like but now it's just not an option. So it's like, okay, like I'd love to have this for the store, but
do I need it?
Which is more important, diapers and,
for sure.
electric bills or, a smoke machine or or just whatever, whatever. So,
yeah. No, for sure. I think,
and I've done it all. Like, so I mean, I started a food truck 4 years ago.
oh, what kind of food truck?
Sweet Southern Funk. It's in Candler. My family runs it now, but
Hell yeah.
so that was like always the dream.
Me and
then
Cameron's big food truck guys, bro. We've talked about that before.
And so for me, that was one that was just always like you're always having to put money into it.
Oh yeah.
That's why like vintage, there's no like equipment, there's nothing. Like I walk in, everything's a fixture or for sale. There's no.
I'm trying to relate it to something that we.
The worst thing that could happen would be if like my iPad broke and I had to get a new iPad to be able to take credit cards. Like that's like literally the extent of it. Or like I got robbed and I got insurance.
Everything else is the investment, the hangers, the racks, the
and now and like I
case.
said, like from when I opened the store, I said I'm not opening the store unless I can have all wood hangers.
Yeah.
You come into my store, it looks nice, man.
That's the little stuff. That's kind of like
it's like it's like that's the differences that can.
It's exactly
it's
what
like
we're
the
going
laundry.
through.
It's the laundry, like like all my stuff's laundered. It doesn't smell like all dirty clothes in the store, like the wood hangers.
Witt's wash and dry.
Yeah, that's just for fun, man.
I seen that. I was going through the Instagram stories and I seen
man,
like clothes going in the wash. I was like, what in the hell is it? And then I looked.
It'll get a post.
It's
It'll
kind
be
of
like
soothing.
I was seeing. I was like,
man,
why did I just watch 60
some
seconds
weird
of this
ASMR
laundry?
shit,
dude, and it gets more follows than the bail bond stuff. Which right now I'm not really doing anything cool yet, but I got my YouTube channel and like every single bail bond is like its own whole deal. I mean, man, it's like, and it's kind of crazy. Like,
wait, you like be documenting like when you go to bail them out of jail and shit?
No, so
I thought you had like the
vlog and this shit.
no, but we have R6 Fugitive Recovery is one of the companies that the sub companies of the surety company I work for. And so they do like the whole TikTok, and so they like like when we go out hunting, like you got the body cam, and it's like going in and out,
If y'all ever need an extra cameraman,
I'd
be down.
Cheek.
Shout to YouTube out, man.
Get you a safe. You gotta get you a safe life bulletproof vest if you're gonna go, even with just a camera, bro. So
if I was one of them crazy people, I'd be aiming for the cameraman.
But yeah, so I mean, the YouTube is just Witt's Bail Bonds NC. So like I said, it'll be more like right now. I just getting going.
That's fine. I like that idea. I think that's lit.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Like I vlog the car stuff, which actually does good, and then like I also vlog like the construction and real estate stuff, which doesn't do good, but. Something like that.
Well, the way I look at it,
that's interesting.
Think about stuff that goes viral and like how much money you can make off a video going crazy. What's more likely to go viral, like a really cool vintage shirt or like somebody hiding under like a pile of clothes and then like getting tased? Like, which one's getting more clicks?
What I hate about that type of stuff is like I always see the TikToks that like are part like 3.
I know,
and there's like 6 parts.
Oh yeah,
and I never see the end.
Trying to find part 1.
I trying to find and it's like
8 months ago on their feed.
And it's an account that only posts whole TV shows.
Yeah.
Man, what's crazy though is like imagine having to like sift through like 18 hours of shit to get that like 4 minutes.
Like there's this one dude that always pops up. It's this repo man. It's just like swole black dude. And
I've seen him.
He has his sunglasses on.
Yeah.
It's always a fight. The dude always wants to fight, but I never see the fight.
Yeah.
Never. It always gets. They're about to scrap, and then
even with the podcast clips, it's so hard because you're sitting there looking through 2 hours of footage, and for like 20 minutes you're like, nah, bullshit, and then there's just like 30-second part that's fucking amazing, like in the middle of that. And if you don't watch it all, you'll just skip over it.
Yeah.
It's like you have to really go through it. Like you said, imagine going through like 8 hours of shit.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks too. Most people, like once you're like in the house and they're like hid and they like know you see them, they're giving up.
Oh yeah,
most of the time. So
you got to get some of them on that crazy that Superman juice,
Oh, you should see some when they're on that. That's no fun for nobody.
I saw a thing where like this dude was high off something and like it took he beat up like 9 cops.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Like,
you
it took,
guys
like,
remember
with the
dude?
taser in him.
Yeah,
you know?
bro. It took
yeah.
it took like 12 cops to put him in handcuffs.
That's like
Don't do drugs,
You
kids.
guys remember
for
the
real.
dude that ate the bath salts and then ate the dude in Miami?
That was
or in Florida?
that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Ate the dude's face.
Yeah.
Like on some zombie shit.
Yeah, they were like zombies, and we were like,
I hope
that's
I don't
a
get
drug.
my face ate for $200. You know, like
Hell no. Off some young living Walmart scented
Yeah,
salts, bro.
no.
Like fuck that.
That's crazy to me, bro. That's something you can just buy. They had to have changed that.
So I don't know.
They had to make some like.
Not to go down a wormhole, but I don't know if like bath salts, what they call bath salts, are actually.
yeah,
just
it's not
bath-
like Epsom salt.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay,
It's
okay.
not
I was
like-
about to say.
It's not like bath bomb. You know.
I think they got to do something else too.
Crush it
gotta
up and
ferment
smoke
it.
it.
Yeah, I'm not my bath salt knowledge ain't.
Not mine either, because whenever I heard bath salts, I'm like, these motherfuckers will smoke anything.
Dude, Florida's crazy, dude. I
Bed
don't-
Bath and Beyond, like what the fuck?
They're selling, they trapping out of Bath and Beyond.
3 for $10.
So what else you do other than the vintage, man? What's some hobbies you got? You like sports? You into sports at all?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm a big Raiders fan. I mean, which
Okay,
kind of
the
sucks,
Raiders.
you know. Like, but
They got
that's
cool
a
shit,
uphill,
though.
They do. It's an uphill battle, man, and it's like it's one of those things where
Happened to
you know,
Jimmy G? Did he hurt his back?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, but
It's rough, man.
yeah,
Listen,
it sucks,
I'm a Lions
man.
fan.
Yeah,
I'm talking my shit this year.
yes, might as well, man.
I've been alive 27 years and they never had a chance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Okay, but I understand
it's
the pain.
miserable. Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? I
so-
understand the pain.
that's about like really. So I keep up with, you know, I do the fantasy football, so I keep up with a
Okay.
little bit of the NFL, you know, just like the
Yeah.
red zone. But pretty much just
I
let
think
the,
I'm
let the
0-5.
Raiders just ruin my weekend, and then
That's-
I'm done with football. So
I mean, the Braves ruined my whole year, so it's all
Yeah,
good.
they're pretty good at making it like to the playoffs and then
And then-
losing.
yeah.
Like that's like a historical.
I'm
Braves
just glad
thing.
they got a World Series while I'm fucking, old enough to remember it. You know,
Yeah.
I was
It was
lucky
cool.
enough to get to go see a game at Truist
Yeah.
when they won, so that was pretty
Oh, no,
cool.
that's
being,
fire, yeah.
being in it, man, was in like a 20-minute wave. And
Oh
like,
no, that's cool.
So, but yeah, man, I used to really be into like music. Like I like studio music.
Yeah.
I kind of gave up on the live music.
Yeah.
I think that just like everything, everything's kind of. I hate to be that old man, but like everything's like regressed. And
It
so,
has,
like,
man.
man, this $200 to go see a concert, and then the person decides they don't
stuffed
want to
beside
come,
people.
or they like, oh well, we're gonna make it in 3 weeks actually, even though you already had a hotel, and like, so like I said, man, I'm not letting celebrities like dictate my plans, so I gave
No,
up
yeah.
on the.
Bro,
I'm not a big concert guy.
Nah,
I don't
me
like the
either.
big-
That's
the
what's
big
crazy.
crowds.
Is like
stressful.
Yeah.
someone who's made music for so long, you would think I like to go to concerts. I'm like, nah, I go there and pick apart everything.
Bro, leaving a social event, a concert,
Jesus,
a,
man, or getting in.
a sports game. Oh
Words.
my gosh, bro.
Now you either leave early or you're in like traffic for like
yes,
3
dude.
hours.
Oh
and
my god, it sucks. It's the worst.
It's a money racket. I mean, you get in there and you're like, nah. So like I said, I gave up on that.
$14 a
There
beer.
a better way to support artists.
Yeah, no, there is. And so to me,
Some of them ain't got no business on the stage. Their music is great through headphones. It ain't good live.
yeah, like I
Facts.
said, and two, like most of the people who I really would pay big money to see, it's like I'd rather not remember them as seeing them when they're like old.
What kind
'cause
of
I
music
just
you
Yeah.
into?
And I like most things. I don't really like electronic, and I don't do like new rap.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not like trying to be like I said an old
Damn, bro.
old
Yeah.
country guy, but like yeah,
I love
I
electronic
just can't
music.
keep up with all.
Depends on what kind of electronic you're talking about, though, because like I like this weird.
You mean like EDM? Like
Yeah, just really any
I like
just,
electronic, like it's
I
called.
like 90s.
Yeah,
I can get like the
uh,
dance hall shit, like the
yeah.
dance shit.
What
is
I
cool.
like is called synthwave. It's like a modern version of '80s music. It's like very rock oriented, but there's
Yeah.
also a lot of keyboards.
But
and
man, I
stuff.
kind of listen to just like
I just don't like the womp 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 womp.
Yeah, I don't like EDM where it's just like the shit breaks down for 20 minutes and there's people just waiting for it. Like, I'm like, when the fuck is it gonna drop?
I'm not gonna lie, I fuck with that shit. Heavy. I fuck with that.
Hey,
motherfucking-
everything has its place though, so I get that too. Like, there's definitely
Nah,
been
yeah.
times where I was like in the mindset that was cool, but yeah, no, I'm more into just like I like folk music and just like like alternative and
substance
Just,
I like
yeah.
alternative shit too, and like what you were saying about new rap. I used to love the new rap like 5 years ago, but it's gotten so like watered down. It's just not even cool
It's
anymore.
just too much, man.
It's just so very like people are just everybody's biting each other's shit once somebody gets something that goes up. It's like we were talking about it though, like rap music with substance is coming back heavy.
Listen, not to
people-
go on a tangent, but the new West Side Gun album,
Like he's
and then you
he's
pray
good.
for us.
Man,
is-
anybody
is
y'all
great.
say, I'm not gonna know who they are. I'm
No,
sorry.
listen,
Like,
You mean
I
you
know,
don't
but-
know that new Destroy Lonely?
No, I don't know none of that, man. Yeah,
What about
that-
Ken Carson?
I like Tool.
Hey, shout out to Tool,
Bro,
man.
I remember my pops showed me a Tool music video when I was like 6.
And you're like
that
traumatized.
shit,
It's
I
like,
still think about it, bro.
yeah.
It's like unzipped his entire fucking skin.
Yeah, yeah.
But
it's
he's a claymation puppet.
Just don't watch it on LSD, bro.
yeah.
Dude, when
I
you're
ain't gotta worry
6, your
about it.
mind is like already LSD.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So you're like,
You
oh,
only
what the
see in
fuck?
colors anyway. you
Yeah.
know, so-
Yeah.
Nah, bro, that's like why scary movies when I was little traumatized me, and you watch them now, you're like, this shit is stupid as fuck.
There's some of them.
I hate a
Fuck
scary
me.
movie.
I
How you
used to
feel
be
about
scared
Halloween,
of Jaws,
Witt?
bro.
Man,
How the fuck?
Halloween was cooler before too. Now I feel like Halloween's like kind of watered down.
It kind of is. Like, all these girls want to go out on Halloween, they all just dress up like a fucking cat or a bunny.
Or Harlequin.
Hey, chill
Yeah.
out.
Oh, yeah, that too, bro.
I'm just not into the devil.
I think we're gonna make a little
Yeah.
content piece on Halloween this year, but we'll talk about that.
I love Halloween
Talk about that
personally
soon.
because it's my birthday.
I love
the
the
day
fall.
before.
I will say
love,
I like
and
the
I love the
fall.
I
fall.
like the weather. I like the food.
I'm a big Halloween guy. I like scary movies. I like
I'm
the
not into
candy.
that.
I like the candles,
It's
the
evil, man.
scents, all that
Evil
stuff.
spirits, man.
Hey,
Why are you
man.
why are you gonna put yourself into that, man?
Hey, I just watched that Talk to Me movie last night. It was creepy.
Yeah.
Creepy. I don't like. I was telling him, I don't get scared when I watch a slasher movie. I ain't worried about a dude showing up with a knife. I'm gonna shoot him.
You
Well,
know,
they
I
got
just
this
thought
weird
about
evil
it. You know,
shit.
like I haven't really like my wife since I got married. My wife doesn't like scary movies, so we don't really watch scary movies. It would be weird, like watching a scary movie and then like waking up with like the baby crying or something, and you're just like thinking.
Yeah,
So
'cause
like
a lot of
I'm
scary
kind of
movies
like
got
had,
that.
yeah, and I'm just
Nah,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
See, my girl is all into that scary shit.
movies make kids scared.
You're a man that wears a lot of shirts. You've got right now currently the vintage store. We've been over that.
yeah,
You got the bell bonds. You said
Yeah.
you started with the food truck.
yeah.
Are there any other ventures that you wanted to talk about or things that you've done in
No,
the
like I
past?
said, I'm pretty much trying to not spread myself any more thin. I'm going back to the mattress firm. That's
Word.
about it on the part-time
Mattress
level.
firm. Oh,
Hey,
that's
this
what
guy, like, yeah, the
The
conspiracies
mattress
over here.
got all the stuff in
Nah,
it.
man, it's funny. You know, everybody, when I went to work there, everybody's like, man, you know that's like a money laundry. Like, that's the government laundering money. And I was like,
Yeah.
what? And they're like, yeah, dude, you ever seen anybody in those stores? And I was like, and then I started thinking about it. Every time I walk by one, I was like, damn, man, there's nobody in there. You know, like, maybe, what is going on? But then, like, being in it, man, it's like,
Motherfuckers sell mattresses.
dude,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude.
Like, one of my homegirls that I'm going to work for, like, I was the manager of the store while she got promoted. $1 million in sales in a year in
Hell
mattresses.
yeah.
Mattresses and pillows.
Damn, she should have opened up her own
They don't
mattress
sell
shop.
beds,
Yeah.
bed frames.
I mean, more like adjustable bases and like
Okay,
you know,
yeah.
stuff like
So
that.
mainly mattresses. though.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
So you got
yeah.
the hookups on Certus coming
yeah,
up.
yeah, and no, like you know, that we don't sell no damn furniture or nothing. It's
Yeah.
all just
Damn, I was about
sleep
to ask if
system.
you had a couch.
No,
Shit.
Not
no,
even
but
a
yeah.
pull-out.
So like I said, I'm trying to. I feel like I'm really trying to focus my energies hard on the bail bonds and on the vintage and the fam, and that's kind of my
Word.
like the extent of it right now.
Yeah.
I've done the too much, 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag, and
For sure.
I'd rather focus it all into the current stuff
That's a good
that
point.
I'm enjoying.
That's fair.
So
And with the fam too.
well, and it's cool too because it's like, so the vintage store, like, that's fun. I can list stuff online. I can work on bail bond stuff on there. I ain't got nobody breathing down my neck. And then like bail bonds, like that stuff that it doesn't really take away from family time because I'm doing that at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Baby's asleep. So run out, write a bail bond, make some money. That's like that extra, like going out to eat money and stuff like that. And, it's one of those things too, the longer you're in it. So I'm kind of at a disadvantage because the three things that really will get you going in bail bonds is advertising, so money, and then time, like just being in it a long time,
Yep.
building a book of business, things like that. But then being a criminal, like most bail bondsmen are, not most, like I hate to say most, but a lot of them like are at least were or had family that are or something, and they have like all like their phone is like a Rolodex of people who are going to jail.
They know
and
the-
so like
their
I'm
Clientele
glad.
is criminals.
Yeah, I'm glad that I don't have that. I'd rather build it, but you know, it's still like right now. It's like my phone ain't ringing off the hook because it's like a new thing.
I was about to say you're gonna like.
I ain't bailing my family out of jail.
Get to the point where you know the people walking down the street
Yeah.
in Morganton, just like you're gonna be driving, be like, I bailed him out of jail last month.
It's kind of
And
like
he's wearing my shirt.
Yeah,
And he's wearing
exactly.
And I put him in a new shirt.
And I sold him a hot dog.
Any
You know, it's a
criminals?
triple threat.
Any criminals in the comments, hit us up.
Yeah.
Don't sit, call Witt, baby.
Real
Come
quick,
on.
Trevor was mentioning before the pod. You have any like a wild bail bond story?
Yeah, bro, we didn't even get into that.
So, like I said, it's been kind of mild for me so far, just because I'm new. But everyone's kind of wild, you know.
True.
I mean, it's some, but
I mean, I've had to be bailed out by a bail bondsman before.
well, I mean, that's the thing.
called
It's like
Witt.
literally
know him.
everybody. I'm pretty
why you
new
said.
to it, but nobody wants to need a bail bondsman. It's kind of one of those things. But when you do, it's like, damn, you
good
know,
to
what
have
are you gonna
one.
do? It's
I was wild. That's all.
But here's the thing too: a lot of people, like the courts and like the jails and stuff, like they hate bail bondsmen.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like
kind of getting around the system a little bit.
Not even that. It's completely like legal. Like, you know, the government and like the Constitution set it up the way that it is. Like the government has every opportunity to say, hey, why don't we do the bail? They don't want the liability of what bail bondsmen have to go and do. They got enough heat on like law enforcement. So they don't need some other, they'd rather 1099 rednecks be out going and catching people that skip court, you know?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. So why would you hate bail bonds? Like like we're getting paid money like for this, but it's kind of almost the same as like how the love hate in a restaurant with front and back of house. You got the police officers, i.e. like the back of house, doing all the bullshit, getting paid shit, and then you got the front of house dilly dallying, come in at 2:00. Come in, make $400, not have to do shit.
Rewards,
yeah, go home.
but who also have to handle the bitching.
Yeah, so that's kind of where it's kind of the same thing, but why would you not, like as a sheriff, why would you not want people getting the fuck out of your jail? That's taxpayers' money.
Because they want people in there because
They make money off of.
that's taxpayers' money.
Yeah, I know, but to me,
that's the reason why the jails are overcrowded, because it's all a money racket too, and there's a lot of people out here doing crime. Like
yeah, but like I said,
court
at the same
system's
time,
a money
it's just-
racket.
I think
is.
if you do it out of the goodness though, for the right reason, that's the best
but
way
here's the thing
to do
too.
it.
It's like, okay, like what if?
Yeah, I wasn't talking shit.
Yeah. What if you got a $10,000 bond? Okay, and you're like, I ain't got
10
nobody.
grand,
Hardly anybody has $10,000.
Yeah.
Like normal people. Not anybody. Obviously, plenty of people got $10,000, but you'd rather spend $1,000.
And most of them people ain't going to jail.
But you'd also rather not be locked up for a week and lose your job and shit too. So that $1,000 it's easier to come off that $1,000. You know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, for sure.
but as far as like, so most of the craziest stories have just come from like the people that I work with and just like the stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that to me, just as a situation, the craziness is just the repetitive, like the same people, same charges,
fucking up
over
all the
and
time.
over and over.
Yeah, how do you
missing
just fuck
missing
up?
court and then paying double, and then just like the whole. It's just like I feel bad, but it's
Yeah.
like kind of like, man, if not, it's somebody's gonna get paid.
Yeah.
True.
Might as well be you.
Oh yeah, I
The
wouldn't.
same thing
I
as
wouldn't feel
vintage
bad
clothes.
about it.
Like, why would I feel bad about selling a $200 shirt? If somebody was gonna buy a $200 shirt, they was gonna buy it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Why would you? Why would you feel bad? Yeah, I would never feel bad about
but
that.
like I said, some of it's sad. You know, you have to like. It's kind of hard because you have to use somewhat judgment. You have to.
Yeah.
Is this person gonna go to court? And there's like tales. It's like, okay, this guy's like, he's kind of acting sketchy about where he lives. Nobody can come up with the money. Nobody will co-sign for him. Probably don't need to get out of jail. Probably like going to run. Probably not going to go to court. So, you know, it's just like anything. You have to make like an educated. I'm an underwriter.
Yeah.
Essentially,
facts.
like basically, like my surety. It's like an insurance policy. So I'm an underwriter. So it's kind of crazy. But yeah, like just. The craziest thing is the places people hide, you know, like behind refrigerators,
Under
trap doors.
mattresses.
Yeah, man, like literally just like
Under the trailer.
you got people like literally like up on the ceiling, you know, like people like in a book bag, like on somebody's back, like, you know, just like it's just like, come on, man, like just go to
Double
court.
check the camera. I think I heard it, but
Yo, I can see your shoulders. Get out of there.
No, it's funny. Yeah, you.
Well, shit, man. We can probably talk to you for a long time. You know.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I
no,
definitely could.
I
It's
can
fun.
talk. Like I said,
The
I think
interview
that's why
aspect
y'all-
was cool. I'm glad we got the interview. We talked about Mud Bros
Yep.
and stuff like that. But
Yeah, and I appreciate
think,
the gas on the Mud Brothers.
Oh,
Like I
no,
said,
for
it's-
sure.
yeah.
It all helps right now. It's it's a brand new thing. So we're trying
I've
to
told you
build it
about
up.
the office, the new studio space. We've talked about it a little bit on here. I think I speak for both of them. Haven't talked to them about it, so I'm just gonna speak for them. Actually, but we want you to come back.
Sweet.
Just chop it up, man.
Yeah,
As soon as we get
yeah.
the studio ready, love
And
to
hopefully
have you
by
again.
then I'm gonna have some crazy fucking bail bond stories.
Hey, for real. But real quick before we get out of here, man, run down the store.
Yeah.
Shout the store out for
Yeah,
sure.
Mud Brothers Vintage. It's 200 College Street in Morganton. That's 28655. We do buy, sell, trade. Really fair on trade in. You can ask these guys.
Oh yeah.
The more you buy, the better deal I'm gonna give you. And then, like I said, check me out too. Witt's Bail Bonds. So
Shout out the Depop too.
yeah, Depop, Depop, Mercari, Poshmark, eBay. It's all the same. Just Mud Brothers, and then Mud Brothers Vintage. I sell a lot of stuff on Depop. If you do see something and you want to avoid any of the fees, you can message me also.
And anybody local, it's
Yeah.
no bullshit. It's fire. I mean,
I
you see the
appreciate it.
Goldberg. you see
Hey,
the
we're
Def
all
Leppard,
representing. Everybody but
you know.
Trevor. He ain't made it out.
You see the F80 Trevor.
Chill, chill, chill,
We
chill.
gonna have
We're
that
gonna
in
put
the
some of
vintage
that
shop.
in there.
No, we
Yeah.
definitely co-signed the vintage store. We've been there.
Co-sign big time. Go get some pieces, man. You're all into that shit.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, most
You're
of the
gonna
people
buy
watching
it
us are
at PacSun for $50, and it's gonna be bullshit.
and
So
it's
go
gonna
get the real
fucking
shit.
shrink
you
whenever
know.
you wash it.
Yeah, come see me.
But yeah, bro, we'd love to just come have you back as a homie.
appreciate
you
it.
know.
Yeah,
especially. You guys got anything
It's
else
been
you want to
fun.
say?
Hey man, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
If you guys are still watching this,
We love you.
Appreciate
and,
you. I'ma
hit the
steal it from
subscribe button.
like,
Follow.
comment, subscribe,
Follow
us.
Mud Brothers Vintage. Follow Prod B May.
I'm changing
B
my
instead
name
of an
soon.
A. Follow Follow
don't even know
F80
those.
underscore Trevor. Follow Cameron Perko 5.
Yes,
You
sir.
have it,
Mr.
you know what I'm
Witt,
saying?
it was a pleasure, bro.
Yes, sir.
Hold
Thank
it
you,
down.
sir, for coming.
Oh.